Please give a warm welcome to Young Living's Chief Executive Officer, Mery Young.
Together at this most unusual convention. I loved being at home, taking in everything, but I really miss seeing all of you and listening to your laughter, which is such a gauge of your enjoyment. I've had a lot of fun just watching everyone on this side squirm, trying to figure out how to look normal, talking to an invisible virtual audience. Actually, everyone has done a remarkable job, not only presenting, but those behind the scenes who have made it happen. Just talking about this unusual and fun virtual convention makes me think about all the conventions I've attended during my networking life. I think my first one was in 1985, and I have attended one every year since then. 35 conventions? That's provoking. A lot of learning. My memories of convention are of the fabulous people I was able to meet, spend time with, and share in their success. I built my business talking on the phone, meeting face to face, doing meetings at the kitchen table, and just enjoying being with other people. That's where I was the most comfortable. Why? Because I was afraid to talk to people. I didn't know what to say or how to break the ice. After we were into the conversation, I was perfectly relaxed, but making those first contacts was really intimidating. My first business experience was selling radishes out of my little red wagon when I was 7 years old. My father was in chiropractic school, and we were living in military-like barracks in Davenport, Iowa. The only thing I remember was how dingy and small it seemed. Today, so much of your Young Living businesses are built and run over email, text messages, and social media. I can't imagine building a business that way. Probably because I'm not social media savvy, and I just love to be with people. When I sponsored someone, or a couple, I felt a responsibility towards them. I had to make sure they understood how to best use the products so they would be able to see the benefits. If they were interested in the business, then I did what I could to help them be successful. How to talk, what words to use or not use, how to sponsor someone, and how to follow up, which is the key to success. My greatest joy was in seeing the excitement in their faces when their business grew and new people joined their organizations. What is your joy? When a new member calls you to tell you that she had the best night's rest in years, thanking you for giving her that oil? That's why I did what I did, because I knew I was helping to make life better for someone else. I was making a difference. Gary had very strong feelings about the purpose of Young Living. I marvel at what he saw in the future and how he was going to get there. The people Gary had helped became faithful followers, and the demand for his formulas grew. In 1988, he started his first essential oil company. He answered the phone, took the orders, packaged the products, and then on Friday he would fly out of town to do meetings, to teach and give lectures, and then returning in time to take orders again on Monday morning and start the whole process over again. Once a month, he spread the invoices of all the orders for that month out on the floor and calculated commission earnings by hand. As far back as 1988, When Young Living was probably just a few months old, maybe even weeks, Gary said, just listen.
One of my goals is to where we can build a strong enough business to purchase some land, build some greenhouses, and duplicate a similar process that they're doing in Europe for Young Living here in the United States, where we can grow our own herbs and grow them in the controlled environments and then do our own processing, and we'll even have more powerful products than we have today.
How remarkable is that vision? When you think about St. Mary's, the first farm he purchased in 1992, and compare it to the vastness of what our farming foundation is today. In 1989, Gary made another statement about his vision for his little network marketing company that was barely a year old.
Young Living has been a dream for myself and for others for a long time. That dream was to bring about a higher consciousness in better health management and prosperity, happiness, and joy. Because it is not just a company that's about marketing products. Young Living is a company that is family structured. It's a company that has an educational program to teach you how to have a healthier, happier, and more prosperous lifestyle. Yes, Young Living is different. It's structured to teach, to educate, to support, to be a foundation, to be a path of truth, because of its purpose in helping to teach and enlighten each and every person that is part of the Young Living family. That's what Young Living is all about.
Network marketing is about freedom in many areas of life. I keep talking about freedom, but isn't that what we are fighting for at this time? The right to choose? You have your own story, and you know what freedom means to you. To you. So what is a positive way to create and build freedom? The first way is to be strong and healthy, to be able to think clearly and make the best decisions. The second way is to free ourselves of financial bondage, and there are many ways to do that. But why not build that freedom by doing something you love, something that benefits mankind? What did Gary say? To bring about a higher consciousness and better health management, prosperity, happiness, and joy? That sounds like a pretty big challenge. So how do we share and how do we build? For me, there is no difference between sharing and building a business. If you're excited about a product or even an experience that you've had, you immediately want to tell someone. You want to share. If you share with enough people and they want to share, before you know it, you are building a business, which is exactly how it started for me. When I first started in the MLM industry, I thought multi-level marketing was where the people at the top sucked the money from the little people at the bottom, and I was one of those little people, and I didn't like it. That happens in some companies, but that doesn't happen with Young Living. If you have good products and a fair compensation program like what we have, you can really experience a lot of success. How much success you have depends on how much time you put into it. People fail in this business for many reasons. Maybe they're afraid. They don't know who to contact. They don't know what to say. And maybe they just plain would rather stay at home and meditate. Not that meditating isn't good, but it's not likely to bring about business success. There are 3 personality traits to look for when you are looking for a good builder. The first trait is a burning desire. In 1967, after living in Vienna, Austria for 7 years, a feeling came over me that it was time to come home. I had graduated from the Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts and was about to embark on an operatic singing career, which I thought would come to an end by going home. Leaving my career in Europe was not my plan, so there must have been another plan overpowering what I thought was my lifelong dream. I shipped my little VW Bug to Germany to the U.S. and cried for the 3 days it took to drive home to Utah. When I arrived, reality set in, and I was in a very confused state. I had no income, no money saved because there hadn't ever been any money left over to save. I didn't even have a reason for coming home, just a very forceful feeling. So now, what was I going to do? Did I have a burning desire to build a business? But what business? I want to tell you about one of my adventures, which will sound unreal. It seems even more unreal as I think back, and I'm only going to tell you a fraction of the story. My father invested in a gold mine in Colombia that didn't exist. It was just a scam and put my family deeply in debt, and many people lost a lot of money. We tried to recover our losses by actually obtaining a mining permit from the Colombian government, thinking we could just buy some equipment and start digging in the dirt on land owned by people who didn't want any foreigners on their property and was in the middle of a guerrilla war zone. And somehow we thought that was going to be a successful mining operation. I flew down to Colombia and worked at the mine for about a year with my brother. I drove back and forth to town to get supplies, paid the bills, took care of payroll for the employees, and managed a myriad of other things, all while trying to navigate my way in a foreign country and speaking very little Spanish. But how do you make something work that wasn't real from the beginning? It was hard, and we really put ourselves to the test. I certainly learned a lot and can talk a good story about the recovery of fine gold from placer mining. But the best part was when we were bought out by another gold mining company, and that adventure in my life came to an end. My father had so much integrity and was so conservative that to be tricked into investing in a scam was too much for him. And I think that is part of what took Dad to his grave. Did I have another burning desire to build a business? In 1987, I was introduced to a Chinese herb company, and I became excited about the products, but didn't want anything to do with the business. However, about a month later, my first commission check for $5 came. I was surprised and curious to know why the company had sent me a commission check, so I started asking questions. When I read through the compensation plan, I realized there was a financial opportunity, and my whole attitude changed. If only there had been Young Living. But Gary didn't start his first essential oil company until 1988. Too bad for me. Maybe. For 10 years, I built a powerful organization and learned all the ins and outs of this kind of a business, and I loved every minute of it, even if they had a lousy compensation plan compared to what we created for all of you in Young Living. But I saw a possibility, and I went for it. I paid off all the family debt with my commission checks, and that was thousands of dollars. It took me 3 years, but I did it. And every day I thanked God for the opportunity that had crossed my path. I earned my little 300D Mercedes in 1 year, which was part of this company's compensation plan. Today it is parked outside behind my house. Every once in a while, I drive it for the memories, and I find myself laughing, not thinking about driving the car, but of earning it. I could put the key in the ignition and turn it over, and the motor would start up immediately. I didn't have to give it a push to get it rolling down the hill and pop the clutch to get the engine started like I did with my V-Dog. I treasure those memories because at that time I had so little. There were no extras in my life, only the necessities. But I had an opportunity to change things, to improve my life, and to help others at the same time. And my first priority was my family. The second trait is a fun personality. Look for someone who likes to talk and be with people. This person could be a dynamic builder if there is a burning desire. I love networking and being with people, and I love strategizing on how to build, how to structure an organization, because that structure can make all the difference in how it grows and how much of a commission will be produced. The third trait is being interested in health and having a desire to help other people. This is critical to building a successful business. If they don't have this trait, don't even bother, because they will not feel comfortable in our Young Living environment. We are about people, and we are about service. Of course the money is important, because the money in the hands of good people does good things. As an example, look at what our foundation does around the world because of what you donate. Yes, it is wonderful to have money, and believe me, I know the feeling of not having money, and it makes life a whole lot harder. But money cannot be the driving force, or you'll end up going down a path that will not bring you lasting happiness. At least, that is how Gary and I feel about it. Money is the side benefit. I like to think of it as an added bonus for helping people. I found a couple of things that worked for me that might give you some ideas. I discovered a way that worked really well to introduce the products to someone new. I would call a friend on the phone and say, "Hi, Karen. I've discovered some new products that I am so excited about I just had to call you. I can't get you out of my mind because I think you would love these products as well, and I believe they would really benefit your family. You may not be interested, but I feel responsible to share it with you so I can get that weight off my shoulders." If you have credibility with the person to whom you are talking, they will respond in a positive way, and you will probably have someone new to enroll. I would take my kit with me, set it out on the kitchen table, which is where I was the most comfortable, and then go through and talk about each product. They always asked me, "How can I get this?" My answer? "You can have this one." They would enroll and replace my kit when their kit came. For 10 years of building, my favorite place was the kitchen table, where I did most of my sponsoring, and it was so much fun. Here's something else I did that helped me every time. Imagine that you have just finished a Young Living presentation in a room full of people. How do you transition from talking about products to the business? Some of you listening may be laughing because this is something that is easy and natural for you. But not for me, and I'm sure there are many more like me who are listening. So at the end of the meeting, this is what I said. I know that most of you are not interested in the business, but someone in your organization might come to you with questions. So perhaps you would like to stay just so you will have the right answers when they ask. But please feel free to go if you would like. Not one person ever left, and I did hundreds of meetings. I don't have to be a scientist to know everything to build a business. When I stood on stage and told people they didn't have to know about sesquiterpenes and alpha-pinene, I didn't dare look at Gary, but I could tell from the laughter in the audience that he was pulling a funny face. But it's true, you don't have to know all that science to get started. You can just about build a business on one product if you love that product enough. I know people who have built most of their business on Ninja Red or Comfort Tone or even Lavender. Just love the products. Network marketing can really help you stretch and grow, as there are so many things to learn. You learn who you are, your values, and what kind of an example you want to be. I have a favorite question, something for you to think about, which you should always have in your minds as you walk your path in life, no matter what you do. What do you want people to say about you when you're not around? Do you care what they say, or what kind of an effect your actions and words might have on other people? I would not be happy if I knew that I had done something that hurt someone else. Yes, we make mistakes, but hopefully we don't hurt someone else intentionally. In my opinion, leaders are defined by how they make others feel. I think that is pretty easy to figure out. Every time someone asks you your opinion, or you have to make a decision before you say anything, think about how your words are going to make others feel and what the long-term effects will be. Even in our office today, I always think about the long-term effect. How will you feel? It is a collective decision by all of us. The word power brings up a lot of emotion, and it isn't always positive. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask, am I driven to have power? Does it have to be my way or the highway? Or am I driven to empower others, to help others be successful? Do I have to take the credit? Or can I give the credit to someone else? I love watching others grow as they develop their business. I love to empower them to do something they didn't think they could do. When I was building, my reward was when their faces would light up because they had a great experience with the products, or they enrolled someone new and they were growing and having success. This is my new downline member. Downline? Do you want to refer to team members in a way that makes them feel like they are below you? It is so much more motivating to hear that you are an important new member of the organization and that you are so happy to have them join. Please don't use the word down when you're talking about anyone in your organization. Are you someone who would try to entice a member away from someone else's organization to yours, maybe with the promise of great trainings, free materials, and fun promotions? What happened to the golden rule? Would you want someone to take one of your members away? Definitely not a leader. Please be a leader of integrity. If you come across someone who doesn't know their sponsor or their upline, help them contact someone in their upline to get the leadership support that they need. In the meantime, invite that person to attend your meetings and share your materials. I am so against closed meetings. You never know when someone in your organization who lives far away and needs some help. What is this convention about? It's about being one in purpose, one goal, one mission. How about helping one, wherever that one person is and whatever the need? My personal belief is that you don't need an upline to build your organization. There are so many resources and information available on the internet. I was so independent. I knew what I wanted to say and how I wanted to build, and I can honestly say that I was self-made. Nobody helped me. I believe an upline is there for support and to offer suggestions and cheer you towards success. Your upline is not there to do it for you, as some people think. Would you like to be told that you can't be successful unless you do it your sponsor's way? All people have their own personality and creativity that determines the best way they want to build a business. Listen, encourage them, and be there if it doesn't go the way they want, so you can offer suggestions and give them new ideas of ways they can go forward. Never be negative about someone else's ideas. Negativity will shut down a person faster than anything else. Always be positive and motivational. How would you feel if your sponsor called you and asked you to put in an order to help them qualify? Ouch! That doesn't make me feel happy. Definitely not a leader. Your job is to follow up, teach about products, and offer help so that they will want to put in an order and perhaps qualify. You don't want your team members to resent getting a phone call from you. You want them to be happy that you called, letting them know that you care about them. Do you think it is right to tell someone in your organization that you will only train their group if they pay you? And they are part of your organization? Is money so important that you can't see the big picture? Of course, there may be large seminars and special meetings for which you charge a small fee to attend. Meeting rooms and other expenses must be covered. But the bottom line is to make it as affordable as possible so that people can get the information and training they want. That's what builds everyone's business. The return that comes from helping someone build a successful organization is far greater than charging for little meetings that will put a few dollars in your pocket. As a business builder, it is important to understand that you are investing in your organization. You are not selling yourself as a service. Gary and I gave hundreds of meetings all over the country, and often at great expense to us, and we never charged for anything. In those early days, we didn't have extra money to just spend wherever we wanted, but we were building and investing in Young Living. It's no different for you today. You are building Young Living, your Young Living organization, and it's all a fine balance, as I told you. How fair is it to give a presentation for family members and friends and then take all the sign-ups and enroll the new people to help someone else qualify? Wow! How could that possibly be motivating to a new person? That is not the Young Living way, and certainly doesn't create positive feelings. Definitely not a leader. It's exciting to sign up that new person and create new friendships. Don't take that away from anyone. Show that person how to enroll a new person. Congratulate both of them and make both of them feel important. Offer your help and your knowledge of the products in the business. Have you ever heard of the word retention? The opposite of retention is attrition. Retention comes from being present, your commitment to their success, becoming a friend. Attrition happens when you do something unethical, like taking a sign-up that really doesn't belong to you, or simply having the attitude, well, sign them up, now on to the next find, and that person doesn't hear from you again. I think you get the picture. I just received a request from one of our members asking me to sign a release form so she can transfer to someone else. That makes me mad. I'll never let her or anyone else leave my organization. Really? I suggest you look in the mirror and ask yourself, what is it that you didn't do to help that person? Maybe you never even called her on the phone. Or what did you do that hurt or offended her, like taking a sign-up that she should have had because she was the one who talked to that person first? There are many circumstances. Maybe someone discovered that another family member or close friend is signed up with someone else, and the two of them want to work together. Whatever the reason, let them go with love. If they stay with animosity and resentment, they won't be successful or likely do anything. Maybe there is something here for you to learn. But if you let them go with love, many more will come to take their place. That is a leader. There is an abundance of opportunity. Just put that good energy out there and let it come back to you. I have very strong feelings about a strange attitude in our industry. Everyone signs up as an independent member. Nobody owns anybody. Each person has his or her individual personality, a way of doing things, and a way of building. All people have the right to sponsor with the person who they like and with whom they feel the most comfortable. They may have already heard about Young Living from 10 other people, but they signed up with the 11th person. Everyone has the right to choose and determine who best clicks with their personality. Do you diagnose and prescribe for others? Do you tell them what to take for their ailments? Really? And how much trouble do you want to make for Young Living and everyone else? What kind of an example is that? We want to continue to grow and have success, and it's so important to follow the rules. Government regulators don't care what you read, buy, share, or send to someone else. They just don't want you to diagnose and prescribe. Don't play doctor. So how do we educate? Direct people to educational tools. Let them do their own research and make their own discoveries. LSP has wonderful educational materials. There are all of Gary's books that he authored, and many about him written by our members. Besides that, LSP carries many other wonderful educational books and material written by our members. I have read many wonderful books written by our members on so many different subjects. Who better can write about how to use the products or give business building ideas than our members? Our members are writing about what they have experienced and want to share their knowledge. They've been there. They've done it. So why not take advantage of that knowledge first? It could really save you a lot of time. The internet is a vast resource of information, but just be careful, because there is a lot of incorrect information as well. PubMed is also a source for research with amazing findings. There are many universities and research facilities publishing their reports. Do your own research and make your own decisions. When Gary lectured, so many people would come to me afterwards and say, "Oh, Mery, there are so many people surrounding Gary that we can't get to him, but we know you know as much as he does. So can you tell me what to do for whatever?" I started laughing, and then very seriously, I would ask them, "Do you want me to make it up?" It was hilarious watching the expressions on their faces. I am not a doctor. I don't know your condition. It would be much better if you did your own research. There is so much information available. They got my point. Don't put yourself in the position of being responsible for someone else's well-being. What if your recommendations don't help? What kind of an example would I have set if I had started diagnosing and prescribing? I know it's a temptation, especially when we know so much, and we just want to help, but don't do it. Set the right example, the example that will keep us all in a good place. Let's talk a little bit about essential rewards. In good conscience, I couldn't promote signing a new member up and immediately enrolling them in essential rewards until they know enough about the products they are using and want to order every month. How many members enroll other members in essential rewards and then just sit back and do nothing because they know there will be an order every month because of the rewards program? I would rather stay in contact, answer questions, and help those new members learn about the products. And when I can tell they are loving what they have, then I would suggest helping them to enroll in Essential Rewards. So many new members are asking for help. How do I get started? I don't know what to do. I want to build a business, but I don't know how. I'm afraid. Perhaps it's time to rise to the occasion. You have already heard about our new RISE system. I wanted to quickly mention it because this program is especially designed to support new members during their first part of their journey with Young Living. The RISE sharing system, your 90-day journey to success. Live it, share it, grow it, live your dream. It starts with belief. Belief in yourself, that inner knowing that Gary always talked about. This new program is very motivational as it helps you define your purpose and get organized as you make your plan. It is also very beautiful to look at as you ponder how you can protect your home and build your family's future. Today, this month, Young Living has announced a new and exciting shopping platform. What does that mean? That means that together, we are all going to be learning a new and streamlined way of ordering products and enrolling customers and business builders. Yes, new definitions. We know you have been asking for a better shopping experience for quite some time. And now it's coming. It's taken a while because we wanted it to be something that is beyond spectacular. This fabulous new shopping experience will gradually be implemented over the next few months. Because of our size and the immensity of a transition like this, we will begin in the U.S. to make sure that everything is flowing smoothly, and then our international markets will follow. I can just imagine the smile on Gary's face. But then he is probably saying, well, it's about time. This is going to be a night and day improvement. Wayne Moorhead, our Chief Marketing Officer, and Prasad Gankanga, our Senior Vice President of Sales, have spent countless hours leading the troops, and they are troops of employees in many different departments to make this announcement possible at convention. Please be patient. We will be announcing more details soon as this platform becomes operational and you begin to venture into a new Young Living way. I'm excited about this and have wanted to move in this direction for a very long time. So get ready and watch for all the new exciting things coming. Many people feel that we are living in a time of great uncertainty. Perhaps we are. But how we deal with that uncertainty is going to chart our course into the future. I see tremendous innovation coming from our members, and it is obvious it is. I see our members well armed with knowledge and determination to do the right thing. This is a time when our freedoms are being challenged, and we need to be strong to speak our truth and walk our talk. Being an example is so important. Don't believe everything you hear and read. It seems that you can hear opposite opinions and ideas within the same 10 minutes of information flowing to the public. Don't be one-sided. Don't be blinded. Look at all the information. Do your own research. Be open to new information. Be open to new possibilities. And be open to having been misguided. and be open to discovering truth that was previously unknown. We hear talk of being open-minded. What does that mean? How many people have said, "I don't want to know anything about essential oils. I don't believe that stuff"? How many people threw emotional stones at Gary and wouldn't listen? How many people called him crazy, unrealistic, and many other unkind things? But nothing stopped him because he had a knowing in his heart. He went forward with determination to discover his own truth. And what is the result? We are over 6 million members strong and still growing. I would say that there are a lot of people who discovered a new truth, for which they are extremely grateful. Today, I continue to read emails, text messages, and even letters and cards that are mailed to me, expressing so much love and gratitude for what Gary did and how their lives have been changed for the better. I may not always know exactly what I need to do in every moment, but I walk with integrity, knowing that I will be guided by a higher power, and that will help me be able to draw from my own inner strength. This is your time to draw on your inner strength, to believe in yourself and be independent in your thinking and the decisions you make. Be accountable to yourself and responsible for what you say and do. No matter what Gary did, his word was his bond. A handshake was good enough for him. And he and I worked together 24/7 and lived each day by the principles on which we built Young Living. There were many challenges in the beginning, and sometimes it seemed like a test of survival. But we have grown, and we attribute that growth to our work ethic, integrity, honesty, commitment, and relentless determination to take essential oils to the world. Now we have many highly experienced and smart attorneys who watch everything and are very protective, for which we are extremely grateful. Our industry is far too complex to be successful without them. People are jealous. And even after 2 years since Gary's passing, people are still saying malicious things. But I know Gary's heart, and I know who I am. I know what Gary and I stand for, and that beacon of truth that Young Living emanates to the world will never change. Jacob and Joseph are grounded with those same principles, and when the time comes for them to lead, they will carry their father's knowing and that which they have been taught by the leadership that surrounds them, and they will not deviate. We are so big now that it is hard for us to meet each other. Many of you wonder, who is Mery Young? What is she like? What was Gary like? Why do they do what they do? I always say, what you see is what you get. I am not moody or fickle, and I am very grounded in my commitment to doing what's right. We are about service to God's children, the mission of Young Living, and that is who we are and why we do what we do. I will always do what I say, and I will never let you down. Shortly after Gary left this earth, I had many people come and tell me they were communicating with Gary. At first it was interesting, and then I started feeling frustrated because I couldn't understand why Gary would communicate with them and not with me. Then I had a number of people tell me that Gary was trying to communicate with me, but because I was crying so much, he couldn't get through. I began to think differently. and started to look into myself, reading books and asking questions. My mind started to open to understanding possibilities beyond this earthly realm. There are certainly countless stories of people connecting with what we might call the other side. Slowly thoughts, words, ideas came into my mind, and I found myself saying out loud, "Oh, I wonder where that came from." My perspective of life is expanding, and I am engaged more in thoughts of what might be beyond this world. Our oils and supplements are tools for helping us get to a higher place. What does that mean? A higher understanding? Awareness? Knowing? Throughout convention, there has been a lot of talk about the many aspects of the oils, including the possibility of emotional and spiritual support. Gary always believed that physical elements had an emotional foundation, and that many positive things would happen when emotional thoughts and feelings were resolved. Perhaps that is why he formulated so many different blends that targeted emotional needs. Just look at peace and calming. Just to bring a feeling of peace into the home and lower the volume of the children's voices or yourself. The applications are vast, and so many of you have had your personal experiences on many levels. I am also so sure that you have found both physical and emotional application for many of these blends. Just look at them. To fill the screen, the photos became very hard to see, but there are a few that I really love. Frankincense, rose, sandalwood, 3 wise men, journey on, believe, freedom, valor, highest potential, release, gratitude. And of course, I love Shutron, especially when Gary wore it. And now it is a favorite of both Jacob and Joseph. So I suspect it's a favorite for many of you men out there. But now I have a very special favorite, which I'm sure you can guess is our new one, Gary's Light. A feeling from another place, difficult to describe. I have a belief, a deep belief, that the people of this world need the tools that we have to help them through this uncertainty, dealing with the loss of a loved one, creating an income, and taking care of their families. Living in the unknown creates fear, contention, anxiety, and can block one from moving forward. Think of the emotional trauma and blockages that put people in bondage in their own energy field. That's an interesting thought to visualize. With belief and a greater understanding, a knowing of our purpose, where we are going, can make it a lot easier to think positively. Just think about the essence of the oils, how they touch the soul and uplift the spirit. What is the essence? I'll leave that for you to answer. Think of the historical uses of frankincense and so many of the ancient oils. Wouldn't it be worth it to give them a try? And you don't have to be a believer to have an experience. The oils have their own personality and will give you a story to tell, whether you are expecting one or not. How grateful I am for our supplements and food products with pure oils in them. I doubt There are many manufacturers in the world today that would go to the length and expense that we go to give their customers products that contain nothing but the best. Why would they spend such a tremendous amount of money when most consumers don't know the difference? Ask yourself about why you decided to be a part of Young Living. I would venture to say that 99% of our members joined because of a product, like the oil of lavender or peppermint. And when you discovered that there is a business side to Young Living and you could earn a little income, many of you became even more excited. It took me a couple of months to figure that out. But when I did, I was even more on fire because I had a very big financial need. Actually, it was the need of my family, and I saw a way I could help them. That was my burning desire. And a burning desire will motivate someone more than just about anything else. Young Living is a business, but a business of service to anyone we meet, to God's children. Gary's father prayed, if God would give Gary back his legs so he could ride his horse in the mountains again, Gary would spend the rest of his life serving God's children. What kind of a knowing did Gary's father have? God did bless Gary to be able to use his legs again, and we all know how the rest of the story went. I will never forget the look of excitement on Gary's face when we went to the mountains with him for the first time after the accident, to his beloved warm springs in the Idaho wilderness. He saddled his horse and just took off through the trees like someone who had thought he would never see his mountain again. I felt so much energy watching them together as Gary arched his back while that powerful animal carried him upward. You could almost hear Gary's words echoing through the canyon. "World, here I come!" Standing in the tall grass, with just the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves, I felt such inspiration. A deep feeling of reverence, knowing that I could never understand what he felt when he was told he would never walk again, only to defy that medical prognosis. Only someone who has been there can know that feeling. I felt such overwhelming happiness for him. That commitment to serve God's children, that purpose has never changed. And if that is in the minds of those who join Young Living, how much stronger will we be? How much more will we be blessed and protected? We are the only company that I know of that is founded on godly principles of honesty, integrity, fairness, and equality, with products that are pure, that carry the essence of God. I know that is a very bold statement, but that is how we feel, and is the premise on which Gary created what we have and on which we built Young Living. There are many companies that say they are a company of honesty and integrity, but I am often dubious because of what I see. We know our foundation, our roots. We have copied no one, and everyone knows that because they are copying us, and we know it, and so do they. Godly principles are not principles of adulteration and synthetics. If those kinds of products do not carry a living energy, how can they do what they are touted to do? Are there any other essential oil companies in the world that have farms and partner farms to which members are invited to come and work and participate in the production of the oils. And that doesn't mean buying land void of the very plants or trees that members are invited to come and plant that take years to grow and mature. Where's the logic in that? Who are they trying to copy? My point. Why give thought to that negativity? It serves no purpose. Go forward with what you know is right. The more the messenger is working, the more messages are received and more people find answers. What company has such a fabulous business plan where commitment and stick-to-itiveness can create security, stability, and career income opportunities if that's what you want? Money is very powerful when used for good, but it must be earned through products of value to all individuals. Several weeks ago, Gary's words came into my mind that this would be the greatest convention we have ever had. Why? Because we have reached more homes with families and friends watching without distraction. Yes, it's fun to be together, and there is truly an excitement that comes with thousands of people clapping and cheering. But you want education, information, to hear the values of your company, the family of which you are a part. Young Living was a little more than 3 years old when Gary said in 1992,
I want to see Young Living in every home in the world. Today, that's not a reality. Maybe not even next 2 or 3 years that could be a reality. But I'm going to strive for that to become a reality. Don't ever, ever let somebody take that away from you. That's stealing your dream. Be different, stand strong on being different, because being different is being successful. Know that everything is in divine order, everything is right, and just go forward with it. And go forward with the commitment and the determination, but being modest about it. That is such a powerful, powerful energy. And people are drawn to that energy just like a magnet. I have a vision that I see Young Living being greater, stronger, and bigger than Amway, which is the biggest company in the world today, network marketing-wise. And I feel in my bones that we will be, and that we will be a major force in the world out there in setting an example and teaching and leading the way to help people see and realize, yes, there is real potential and great satisfaction in being part of Young Living.
The visions and dreams that Gary had then are the same foundation on which we are building today. I think we are just a little more developed and sophisticated in how we do things. The technology that allows us to communicate instantaneously around the world today did not exist when Gary made that statement. But the principles are still the same. As we bring this convention to a close, let us go forward with renewed commitment to rise up and take our message to those who are waiting. You have the knowledge and you have the tools. If you speak gently, with an attitude of service, those who are looking for truth will hear that truth in your voice. This is absolutely what happened to me. It is both your opportunity and your reward. It's time to speak with that knowing of truth from your heart, and you can be certain that we love you and appreciate all that you do as the messengers of this great work. I'd like to invite all those who have been a part of this great event to join me if they can. The executives, Brittany and her events team, Chad and his amazing staff at Cornerstone, Jackie and her foundation team, Joseph, Jacob, Kate, and John, who is always behind the scenes, making sure everything works for me and so many others. We give special thanks to the technicians with all the digital lighting and sound with their marvelous creations, the designers, the writers, and the editors. There are so many, especially our great body of Young Living employees in so many departments who have put in long hours to bring it all together, to make this the greatest convention in a most amazing way that we have ever had. We love you, our dedicated members, our invisible, virtual audience. We know you are there, and we know that a new era of commitment and prosperity is coming, and we look forward to the future when we will be together to shake hands and give each other big hugs. Let us walk together with one voice and carry the torch of freedom as a shining beacon of hope into a glorious new dawning of humanity. A healthy home for each of us, a healthy world for all of us. We are one.
With love.